Hey everyone, welcome back to Bike Beat. Today we're diving into the 2026 Yamaha XT1200ZE Super Ténéré, a machine with a name that has become synonymous with rugged endurance and long-distance adventure. This is a bike that has always been aimed at riders who want to go far, go hard, and not worry about whether their machine will survive the journey. The Tenere name itself comes from Yamaha's Dakar racing heritage, and when you add the word super in front of it, you know you're dealing with something big, powerful, and unapologetically built for covering continents. At the heart of the XT1200ZE is Yamaha's 1,199 cubic centimeters parallel twin engine, liquid-cooled, fuel-injected, and running a 270-degree crank that gives it that characterful V-twin-like throb. The bore and stroke are 98 by 79.5 mm, with an 11:1 compression ratio, and the engine produces in the range of 110 horsepower at around 7,250 rpm. What really matters though is the torque. Around 114 Nm delivered in the mid-range, making this bike feel muscular and easygoing at highway speeds, overtaking traffic, or climbing mountain passes with bags and a passenger. Power goes through a 6-speed gearbox into a shaft drive, and that shaft is one of the defining traits of the Super Ténéré. No chain cleaning, no worrying about adjusting tension on the side of the road. It's smooth, reliable, and practically built for the kind of rider who doesn't want to think about maintenance every few hundred kilometers. The chassis is equally robust. Up front you have an inverted fork, and in the ZE spec you get electronic suspension that allows you to change preload, compression, and rebound on the fly. Out back, a monoshock does the job with similar electronic adjustability. That means whether you're solo, riding with a passenger, or loaded down with gear, you can set the bike up at the touch of a button rather than digging out spanners in the garage. Suspension travel sits at around 7.5 inches front and rear, enough to soak up rough backroads and gravel tracks while still feeling stable on the highway. Braking is handled by dual 310mm discs at the front and a 282 at the rear, backed up by ABS and Yamaha's unified brake system, which helps balance the stopping power between wheels when you hit the lever hard. Wheel sizes are 19 inches up front and 17 in the rear, running 110/80 and 150/70 rubber respectively, a compromise between off-road adaptability and on-road confidence. The wheelbase is a long 60.6 inches and the wet weight comes in around 265 kilograms, so you can already imagine the stability this thing has when you're cruising at triple-digit highway speeds. That weight does mean low-speed agility takes a hit, but for a long-haul adventure tourer, stability is king. The seat height is adjustable, ranging between roughly 33 and 34 inches, which suits taller riders best but can be a stretch for shorter inseams. A generous 23-liter fuel tank, or about 6.1 gallons, gives you the kind of range that makes days of travel possible without constantly searching for a pump. Design-wise, the Super Ténéré is unmistakable. It's a big bike with big bodywork, a wide adjustable windscreen, and a tall stance that screams world traveler. The ergonomics are spot on for comfort, with upright bars, wide leverage, a supportive saddle, and room for luggage systems on both sides. Passenger accommodations are well thought out, making it a legitimate two-up touring bike for those who want to share the journey. There's good wind protection, strong handguards, sump guards, and, depending on market and trim, crash protection that makes it feel prepared for the unexpected. Instrumentation is thorough, with digital displays that show trip info, fuel range, gear position, riding modes, ABS and traction control status, all laid out clearly. When you ride the XT1200ZE, the first impression is torque and comfort. On the road it's in its element, long straights, sweeping bends, highways that go on forever. It feels planted, secure, and smooth. The engine's characterful rumble makes it engaging without being tiring, and that electronic suspension keeps the ride plush yet controlled. If you're passing cars on an incline with luggage strapped to the panniers, it pulls without complaint. At highway cruising speeds, it's steady and sure-footed, the shaft drive delivering power seamlessly. And with that big tank, you can easily tick off several hundred kilometers before thinking about refueling. Take it off-road and it shows a different side. Gravel roads, forest tracks, dirt fire roads, no problem. The suspension has the travel, the wheels have the size, and the torque is friendly enough to manage traction. But it is a heavy motorcycle. When trails become technical, rocky, steep, or muddy, the sheer bulk of the machine makes it a challenge. This isn't a nimble trail bike, it's a heavy adventure tourer, and you need to ride it like one: momentum, planning, and smoothness rather than brute force. That said, for the majority of riders who just want to explore beyond the pavement, it delivers enough capability to open the door to adventure. Now, price. In the US market, the Super Ténéré ES has historically been around $16,300. For 2026, prices may be slightly higher depending on options and market fluctuations, and internationally, expect significant differences due to taxes and import duties. In many regions, particularly where motorcycles are heavily taxed, you might see the final price nearly double. Running costs are what you'd expect for a large adventure tourer: tires, brakes, fluids, and the occasional shaft drive service, but the reputation for durability and reliability means it's unlikely to let you down on the road. What makes this bike unique is its blend of features. Electronic suspension gives it adaptability few bikes in its class can match at this price. The shaft drive is rare among adventure bikes and a huge advantage for those who value low maintenance. The overall comfort and ergonomics make it a serious cross-continent machine. And then there's the Yamaha heritage. This is a brand known for building engines that last and machines that can take abuse. For riders who value those traits, the Super Ténéré remains a compelling package. It's not without compromises. That weight is real, and if your dream adventure involves threading narrow forest trails or tackling technical rock gardens, this may feel like too much motorcycle. It's also not the most cutting-edge bike in terms of power output compared to some European competitors, and its electronics suite, while solid, isn't as flashy as some of the newer adventure bikes. But in many ways, that's the point. Yamaha built this for riders who want proven reliability, comfort, and range, not endless gadgets or peak horsepower bragging rights. So who is this bike really for? It's for the rider who wants to ride across countries, maybe across continents. Someone who will spend hours in the saddle, sometimes with a passenger, sometimes with bags, often with both. It's for people who don't want to fiddle with a chain in the middle of nowhere, who want a bike that feels stable at high speed and comfortable on long days. If you ride mostly road and light off-road but want the option to explore wherever the pavement ends, this bike makes sense. If instead you dream of lightweight single-track adventures, it might not be the right tool. To wrap it up, the 2026 Yamaha XT1200ZE Super Ténéré is still exactly what its name suggests, a supersized machine with Tenere DNA, built to take you far, in comfort, with the kind of durability Yamaha is known for. For some, it may feel too heavy, too big, or too expensive, but for the right rider, it could easily be the one bike to do it all. So what do you think? Is the Super Ténéré still king of heavyweight adventure touring, or has it been overtaken by lighter, flashier rivals? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and share this video with your fellow riders. Until next time, ride safe, keep the rubber side down, and this is BikeBeat signing off.